The blessings of reciting Ayatul Kursi. Ayatul Kursi has a high status. It was reported from the Messenger of God, peace and blessings be upon him, that it is the greatest ayah in the Book of God. It was narrated from Ubay ibn Ka'b that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, asked him which ayah in the Book of God was the greatest. He said, God and His Messenger know best. He repeated it several times, then he said, Ayatul Kursi. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, congratulations upon your knowledge, Abul Mundhir. With the one in whose hand is my soul, it has a tongue and two lips, and it glorifies the Sovereign, i.e. God, at the foot of the throne. It was narrated from Abu Huraira, may God be pleased with him, that the Messenger of God, peace and blessings be upon him, said, in Surah Al-Baqarah, there is an ayah which is the best of all the ayats of the Qur'an. It is never recited in a house, but shaitan leaves, and this is Ayatul Kursi. The blessings of reciting the last two verses of Surah Al-Baqarah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين.
Narrated Abu Masud, may God be pleased with him, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if somebody recited the last two ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah at night, that will be sufficient for him. Ibn Abbas, may God be pleased with him, reported that while Gabriel was sitting with the Messenger of God, peace and blessings be upon him, he heard a creaking sound above him. He lifted his head and said, this is a gate opened in heaven today which had never been opened before. Then when an angel descended through it, he said, this is an angel who came down to the earth, who had never come down before. He greeted and said, rejoice in two lights given to you, which have not been given to any prophet before you. Fatihatul Kitab and the concluding ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah. You will never recite a letter from them for which you will not be given a reward. Virtues of reciting Surah Yasin. Surah Yasin, the 36th surah of the Quran, is undoubtedly one of the most important surahs. Often referred to as the heart of the Quran, it deals with important concepts and beliefs of Islam. It speaks of divine science in the universe and nature and the phenomena of death, resurrection, and final reckoning. Because of its vivid descriptions of these and other matters, its reading is highly recommended, even more than other surahs of the Quran, at certain times and in certain circumstances. As stated in a report by Abu Ya'la on the authority of Abu Huraira, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever reads Yasin at night before retiring to bed will be waking up while being forgiven of their sins." In another report by Imam Ahmad on the authority of Maqal ibn Yasser, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Read it, Yasin, on those among you who are nearing death." In light of the above and similar reports, scholars have said that one of the salient characteristics of Surah Yasin is that its reading helps ease hardships and difficulties. Its recital by the bedside of those in the throes of death is hoped to be a source of descent of God's mercy and blessings upon them, thus eventually aiding in the easy release of the soul from body. Imam Ahmad, may God have mercy on him, said, "Great scholars and teachers used to say that reading Yasin will help ease the difficulties that a dying person experiences." And finally, Al-Hafiz al-Bazar reports on the authority of Ibn Abbas that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "I wish that it, Yasin, is fully retained in the heart of every member of my community." The virtues of Surah Mulk. Abu Huraira, may God be pleased with him, reported God's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, as saying, "A surah in the Quran containing 30 ayats interceded for a man till his sins were forgiven. It was Surah Al-Mulk." Ibn Abbas, may God be pleased with him, said that one of the Prophet's, peace and blessings be upon him, companions set up his tent over a grave without realizing that it was a grave, and it contained a man who was reciting the Surah Al-Mulk up to the end. He went and told the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, who said, "It is the defender, it is the protector which safeguards from God the Most High's punishment." Jabir, may God be pleased with him, said it was the custom of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, not to go to sleep until he had read Surah Al-Mulk and Alif Lam Mim Tanzil. Anas, may God be pleased with him, reported the Messenger of God, peace and blessings be upon him, as saying, "There is a surah which will plead for its reciter till it causes him to enter paradise, and that is Surah Al-Mulk." Ibn Abbas, may God be pleased with him, told a man, "Shall I not give you as a gift a hadith with which you will rejoice?" The man replied, "Why not?" Ibn Abbas, may God be pleased with him, said, "Recite Surah Al-Mulk and teach it to your household and all your children and the children of your house and your neighbors, for it is the protector and the defender. It will plead with its Lord for its reciter, and it will intercede for its reciter to protect him from the punishment of the fire and to save its reciter from the punishment of the grave." The Messenger of God, peace and blessings be upon him, has said, "It is my heart's desire that this surah be present in the heart of every person of my community.